Okay, I'll start the video.
Okay.
And then you can start.
Connectra creates opportunities for people with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. On Service Mondays, we highlight a local organization or initiative. On February 5th, we hear from BC Centre for Ability about their accessible employment programs. Then on February 12th, join Eric to discover the richness of the Disability Foundation's own programming. Monday, February 19th is Family Day in British Columbia, so there will be no programming. On the 26th, join Lauren from Emotions BC for a presentation on the importance of caring for your mental health. On Tuesday, February 27th, find your next read and engage in an insightful discussion on the representation of disabilities in literature through our new book club in partnership with the VCL. On Friday, February 16th, learn how to plan your garden with Digga. Tuesday afternoons are for creative writing with Emily. Wednesdays are chair yoga with Bobby Silkowski. Thursdays are adaptive fitness with Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Fridays are contemporary improv dance classes with Janice Lawrence. Visit the events calendar on Connectra's website, connectra.org, for more information and to register for events.
Okay, Julie, you can start.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's Julie from Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Nice to see some people online with cameras on today. It's okay if you don't feel comfortable with your camera on, but it's nice to see a few smiling faces participating with me. So today I have a paddling class. So we have our a dowel or something similar. Maybe you have a cane or a broomstick or something else that you use. I've seen some umbrellas in use too. So whatever works for you to space your hands apart for that portion of class, that'll be our cardio portion. And then I'll be using a physio band for the resistance portion of class today. So if you have something like that handy as well, just keep them close by. If you don't have a physio band and you have weights, you can modify according to the movements that we're doing. So that will work as well. All right. And of course, have a water bottle handy. I'll cue you on a couple of water breaks and take as many sips of water as you need during class today. So we'll start as we have been doing, just in a comfortable seat with your eyes closed, if that feels good for you today, just focusing on your breathing. So first and foremost, just looking for a big breath in and a nice even breath out. So nice even inhale and an equally even exhale. And then from there, we'll move our focus to the crown of our head. So every inhale, stretching up through our spine, making us just a little bit taller. And every exhale, just nice and even on the way out. So nice, even breath in, getting a little taller in your seat, and a nice, even breath out. Good. We'll do a few more like that. And then we'll start to move the focus to the rise and fall of our chest. You can have your hand to your chest if you like that extra feedback. So big breath in, expanding through your rib cage. A breath out to release. So nice even breaths in, thinking about how this tall seat gives you a little bit more space for air, filling up your lungs, expanding your rib cage. Good, we'll do two more like that. And one. And then we'll turn our focus to our belly and our core muscles, where a breath in fills our belly up like a balloon, and a breath out engages our core muscles, pulling our belly button towards our backbone. So breath in, your belly fills like a balloon. Breath out, you squeeze every last drop of air out, belly button to backbone. Just turning on those core muscles, letting them know that it's time for them to do some extra work for us today during class. Good, so we'll do 2 more there. And then we'll add some more movement to our warm-up. Last one. If your eyes were closed, you can take them to open now. And we're just going to do some slow neck circles, head circles. So nice and slow. If there's one spot that's feeling extra tight today, maybe you spend a little bit of extra time there. And then we'll go back the other direction. Good, one more here. All right, and then we'll do a few where we're going to look down towards our lap and then up towards the ceiling. Good, one more here. And then a few shoulder checks. So you will look over one shoulder, back to center, over the other shoulder. The last one each way here. Good. We're going to add in a little more spinal movement now. So different for everyone. Moving through a little bit of a cat-cow positioning, meaning that instead of just looking down at our lap, we're going to curl through our spine to come forward and then look up and open up through our chest to come back up tall. So just a variation, hands on your lap. There's no need for any excessive hinging for this. Just that little bit more movement than just looking down at your lap and up to the ceiling. So trying to get a little bit of spine warm up here. Last one, down to your lap, small forward movement to curl, and then looking up to the ceiling, opening through your chest. Good. All right, we'll add that bit more movement as we do a shoulder check as well. And let's stay on one side, actually. It will be easier to focus on one side. So you may take both hands to the same side, doesn't matter which one. You're going to shoulder check and then gently follow with a bit of spinal rotation and come back to center. So this can be very small. It does not need to be a quarter rotation by any means. Your hips should still be facing forward. So the rotation is being driven through your spine and not from your hips. Good. So looking to the side, rotating to the side, and we'll do that one more time. Back to center. Because we're doing some paddling today, we want to make sure that we are warmed up to do potentially a little bit of rotation as well. Hands are on the other side, same thing. Look side, rotate side, come back to center. Nice gentle movements, just warming up. Of course, always with everything we do, listening to your body. If there's something I'm suggesting that just doesn't feel right today, no need to do it, or feel free to modify. You can always ask me questions after class too about modifications. Last one here. Great. Back to center. Let's get going with a few shoulder shrugs to the back. So shoulder rotations. We're going to start to add in a little bit of arm and then a bit more arm until you are doing a nice big back crawl motion. I guess it's double back crawl. Last 3, 2, and 1. And the same thing to the front, starting with little scoops, more with your hands and wrists, and then adding in some elbows, and then adding in some shoulders, getting those scoops going a little bit bigger until you have a big forward motion. Good, let's do 3 more. 2, and 1. All right. Now we did some cat-cow. I'm just going to add a little bit more hinge to this next one. Hands are on your lap for support. Hinging forward, thinking about core muscles, helping to keep you nice and stable here, and then coming back. So within your own range, whatever is comfortable and accessible for you. trying to really engage those core muscles. So belly button to backbone, telling them to really power through this move. We'll do 2 more here. And 1. Good. We're going to stay up tall to start with as we do a reach and pull. So reaching forward, grabbing onto an imaginary object and pulling it in towards. And then if you would like to add back in our hinge, we don't have the support of our hands on our lap now, but if you're comfortable, maybe that reach is a little bit farther. So you're hinging to reach, pulling back in nice and tall. Great, so we'll just do a few more like this. It's almost time for some paddling with our dowel. Last 2 and 1. All right, we're going to take some upward movement now. So you're reaching up, grabbing and pulling straight down like you're doing a reverse chin up. So arms are nice and close, coming past your face. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then we're going to do a few where the reach is the same, but we're pulling down into that lat pull down, like you're grabbing onto that bar at the gym, lat pull down bar, and pulling it until your elbows rest near your sides. Good. We'll do 3, 2, and 1. All right, last thing before we get moving with our paddle, we're going to do a crossbody reach, one side and then the other, with potentially a bit of rotation. So the non-moving hand can be on your lap for support if you need it there, or you can be crossing over with a little extra reach, a little extra rotation through the spine. Hips still staying nice and even on the chair, so the rotation is coming through the spine and not from hip lift. Good, last 2, each side. And last one each side. Great. Okay, let's grab our dowel. If you need a drink before we begin as well, go right ahead. I think I'm going to set my 1-minute timer today. So the goal will be to do to keep up some variation of cardio, but some of our minutes will be more focused on a bigger move that may be slightly less cardio focused and a little bit more stability and core focused, but lots of variations coming your way. So we've got our first minute coming up here, just a nice easy paddle. Good. So because we've just finished our warm-up with some spinal rotations and some core warm-up as well, you can take a moment to check in. Right now, we're not rotating. We want our core to keep us nice and strong. Hips are square, shoulders are square, arms are moving with power. It's our first minute, so we're focused a little bit more on just nice, even movements than we are on speed at this point. And then just pacing yourself accordingly throughout this next little bit of cardio. So if you need to change the speed from what I'm doing, feel free. Faster or slower is always an option for you. Great, so that's our first minute done. We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're just going to pick up the pace a little bit and see how that feels for not only the cardio portion, but also for our core. A little more workload as our arms start to move a bit faster. Looks good. Nice even breaths in and out here. Just checking in on pace. See how you feel. We're coming up on the end of this minute. So that will have been 2 minutes of cardio. All right, there goes my timer. Our next one, we're going to start slowing down and reaching a bit farther forward. So maybe a little more like you're a gondolier or something. Reach forward with your paddle. Now, you can still do this with some speed and power, but I want this to be a big reaching move regardless. If you would like to, for the last half, add more hinge, if that's available to you, go right ahead. For now, we're still keeping shoulders more or less facing forward for this one, so we're not adding any rotation yet. Great, just back to a nice even paddle. We'll do a little bit of a pattern for this next one. So for this next one, let's do 2 paddles per side. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll keep it pretty close to our body here for now. Great. All right, we've got about 10 more seconds of this one. We'll change it up again. Okay, so go back to a nice even paddle. This time we're going to paddle even for 4, and then we're reaching forward for 4 paddles. So it will look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reach forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hinge is always optional. Upright, nice close paddles for 4. Long reaching forward paddles for 4. Close paddles for 4. Long reaching for 4. Good. We have about 10 more seconds here. Paddle close for 4. And big reaches to the front for 4. And again. Good, we'll finish off. Big reaches to the front. Good. We're going to slow it down just a little bit with some side paddles. So reaching off to the side as far as you can go without hinge to start, or without a flex, I guess, to start. So big side to side paddles. Good. And then if you want to add just a little bit of side flex, it will be still with hips evenly on the chair, but just a little bit more obliques, our side core muscles, helping to move us side to side. Last one each way here. Just going back to a nice even paddle for our next one. We're going to have a water break after this minute. So if you're feeling like you are enjoying this cardio portion and you want to go a little bit faster, get a little bit more blood flow going, a little bit more breathless, go right ahead. Got 30 seconds here, and then we will take a short water break. Great. Got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Maybe you take a moment and shake it out. Give yourself a hug, cross-body hug. Grab some water. We'll keep going just a little bit more with some paddling patterns. And then we'll move into some resistance band work. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer again. If you're still resetting and getting ready to join us, that is totally fine. I'm going to do another minute of just nice even kayak paddles here, and then we'll pick up some patterning again. Great, so we're coming to the end of this minute. When we transition again, we're going back to those bigger side reaches and we're going to count out 4s here. So I'll just work you through the pattern in a moment here. For now, we got last 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're getting ready to do 4 close paddles, just as you were just doing. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 reaching side paddles with or without a little side flex. So 4 close paddles, 4 reaches to the side. Nice close paddles for 4. Long reaches to the side for 4. Regardless of whether you choose this bit of side flex or not, you're still keeping hips nice and even on the chair, evenly weighted. Almost done this one. Good, last one here. All right, let's shake that one out. Getting ready to not paddle, but use our dowel for some push and pull movements. So you're going to push and pull, straightforward. Your choice. If you would like to go faster and stay nice and upright, that is fine. If you want to add a bit of hinging and a bit of core work as well, go ahead. If you're hinging, the movement takes a little bit longer, so it might not be as fast a move, but that is totally fine. Push and pull. So use that active push-pull motion, even though the object that you're holding in your hand probably has very little weight. We're still adding that extra workload by turning on our chest muscles to push away, our back muscles to pull to center. Last one here, push and pull. All right, let's go back to another minute of nice even kayaking, your choice of speed. If you've had about enough paddling, we are almost done. We'll do about 3 more minutes of the sequence and then we will move on. Great, keep going. If you're feeling good and you want to go a bit faster, we have 20 minutes of sprint time. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, we're moving back to our push-pull movement, this time up towards the ceiling and down towards our chest. So you're thinking about pushing up, pulling down, adding in enough grip that you feel like you can get a little bit of extra muscle work here. And then if you want to add a little something extra here when it comes to flex, what you can do is press more on one side, pull down, press more on the other, pull down. So your choice, nice even moves or a little bit of side flexion as you press one side up higher than the other. But 10 more seconds here. Good, last one there, each side. All right, I always find this one tricky, but we're gonna try some back paddling now. So you can think about reaching for your hip and then paddling, paddling forward, press forward. It's just a trickier move. Press forward. It does challenge the core though in an interesting way. So you can kind of tune in and feel the difference between a forward paddle and a back paddle. Good. We're almost done this one. We got 10 more seconds. And then we are technically done with paddling. I am just going to have you, last 2 and 1, go back to your forward paddle and just unwind yourself for a few moments. If you want to take this as your last little bit of cardio for this session today, go ahead and speed it up, or just nice even moves to kind of just feel that full movement through your shoulders as the paddle goes side to side. Good. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Okay, we are all done with the dowel or your paddle today. We are moving on to some physio band work next. I'm going to stop my timer. Whoops. Here we go. All right. So for this first move, we're going to move through our rhomboids, our mid-back muscles. If you like to have the band wrapped and you have a long enough band that that helps with grip strength, you can go ahead and do that now. We're actually going to use the same length of band for the next few exercises. So you should be set up and good to go as long as you have a fair amount between the 2 hands. We're going to be doing some bigger moves here. All right, so for this first one, we'll be shoulders back and down, up nice and tall in our seat, forward with the band at about chest level. So I want our shoulders to stay down for this one. We're coming wide enough that your elbows will lead to pull back, but you feel like it's a big wide W, I guess, that you're pulling to the back. So shoulder blades squeeze in, arms release to the front. Shoulder blades squeeze, arms release front. Good. We're doing the first few as both arms together, and then we're going to move on to one side at a time. So let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just give your shoulders and neck a little rest here in between sets. The next time we're going to do 6 on one arm and then 6 on the other, the exact same move. The only difference is that one arm is going to be your stabilizer arm. So it's going to stay put and hold the band in place. And the other arm is going to be the one doing the work. So coming back into that big move, shoulder blade towards backbone and to center. So let's do 6 like that. We'll go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. If you need a little reset, go ahead, or straight to that second side. So now the opposite arm is stabilizing as we go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come down, give those shoulders a little rest. The next move I have for you is our lat pull down. So that means both arms will be overhead at the same time. If you don't have the anti-tip chair, you may want to move against a wall for this one, just to ensure that when both arms are overhead, that you're nice and stable. So about the same amount of band, most likely as you had for our previous exercise, will be just fine for this one as well. And there's no need to go until your arms are extended overhead. We can be at a little bit of an elbow bend to start. Really what I'm aiming for is as my elbows bend towards my side, I almost hit myself in the nose with the band and then bring it down to chest level. So we're going to start those now. Both arms up, pulling down to your side, elbows towards your side. Good. So just like the last exercise, both arms moving at once for now, and then moving into some single arm workload here shortly. So let's do 2 more like this. And 1. Good. Bring it down. Shake out your shoulders. Maybe shake your head side to side, ear to shoulder. Great. All right, I know this one is a big workload for the shoulders as well, as your arms are up overhead. We're going to do 6 per side, come down and reset anytime you need to. Shoulders are set, back and down, arms are up above your head. One side is the stabilizer, the other one is going to pull down for 6, 5, elbow towards your side, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reset if you need to, or straight to that other side, coming down for 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last one here. Excellent. Bring those arms down. Good. Maybe give your hands a little rest, having that band wrapped around. All right, we are moving into doing some tricep work next. So we will need the band again. For this one, we're going to use just one side at a time. So the majority of the band can be sitting on your lap, on your hand, and then one side either wrapped or just holding on to the end in the working arm. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Shoulders set. For this first set, we are going to be upright, and then I'll give you a hinged option in a few moments here. But for now, let's do 6 like this as well. So you're going to do tricep kickback, pressing your elbow to straight. Forearm is the mover. The upper arm is quite still, kicking back. So we'll go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Reset that one. We are going to do another 6. Your choice, whichever feels better for you, the exact same way, or a little more workload for the other arm if it once again becomes your stabilizer arm. So out front to give you maybe a little bit more workload. You could even hinge for this one just slightly, as long as you can maintain that long extended spine here to do the same thing. Kick back and press for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Good. We will reset and do the same on the other side. So one hand is on your knee for this first time of the exercise. The other one is either wrapped or just holding on to the end of the band. Shoulder is set into position. ready to kick back and extend through that elbow 6 times. Here we go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Stay there if you like that setup for the next set of 6, or we can go arm extended, maybe a little bit of a hinge, getting ready to kick back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Excellent. All right, we are moving on to some core work. I'm going to use the band. My band is really long for this, so I'm going to split it a few times until I just have a nice even hand spacer for the next one. So really all I'm doing is making sure that when I move around, the ends of the band aren't flipping around and getting in my way. So just a nice even hand spacer here, even no band at all, or like a towel or something would do just fine. Actually, your dowel would also do just fine if you wanted to get that again. All right, so we're going to start with this as a little bit of rotator cuff work, but we're going to quickly move into having this be more core. So first, if you want to glue your elbows to your side, palms facing down, and just move in a really tight semicircle around your body. So this is rotator cuff. And you need to be, aware of how those shoulders feel as you move to the end ranges here. Good, we're going to start to go wider now. Arms come away from your side into a bigger semicircle at about lap level, a little bit higher if it needs to be. And then I want your shoulders facing forward as you start to pick up the pace a bit. So this one is intended to make your core muscles work because they have to resist this side-to-side motion. So they are keeping your torso nice and even as your arms move side to side. Great. And then you're going to start to slow it down a little bit and come up to about chest level. Maybe a little bit lower. And then maybe you'll pick up the pace a little bit again, but not with spinal rotation. I want shoulders forward and your core muscles keeping you nice and stable here. Great. And then maybe you'll slow it down. We're almost done this. If shoulders are getting a little tired of this, we're moving up to eye level. And then we're moving up overhead, if that feels good for you, with a little side flex. So slow this one down enough that if you are feeling like a side flex is appropriate today, that it's just far enough that your side core muscles, your obliques, are going to help to pick you back up. Nice and tall. One more time each side. Good, and then bring that band down. All right, that's enough for those shoulders. We're gonna set the band down. I do have a tiny bit more core work to do. We did just use our oblique muscles when we did those overhead kind of rainbow moves, but we're going to use them a little bit more here. We don't need the band anymore though. Hands can just be down at your sides, fingertips reaching towards the floor on either side. So it's kind of an active reach. If you need to stabilize, so maybe you find that as we do these side flexes from this position that you need to hold on to an arm of a chair and do one side at a time, that's also fine. Maybe do 3 or 4 on one side and then switch it up. For now, if you are able to have both hands extended, we're going to alternate sides. You're going to side flex, pull up, side flex, pull up. Hips nice and even in your chair. Oblique muscles pulling you back to center. So you're reaching one way, the opposite muscle group pulls you back up. Good, last one each way. And then we're going to stay on one side for 6. So reset, hips nice and even in your chair. One arm reaches down, the other can hold on to stabilize if it needs to. And we're going to go a little bit slower. That doesn't mean you need to go lower. We're just going down, pulling up, down, and up. 6 times. So that's 3, 4, 5, and last one, 6. Good. And then the same on the other side, even in your chair, nice and even through your hips, reaching actively down with that other hand, holding on for stability with your free hand if you need to. Nice and slow on the way down, slow on the way up. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and the last one here. Excellent. All right, it is time to stretch. To make sure we stretch through our shoulders. We did lots of shoulder work today, especially because we did all that paddling as well. Yes, I'm going to grab a drink before we stretch here. All right. We are going to start with our shoulders down and our arms nice and wide, puffing up through your chest with the breath in and releasing your arms to center with the breath out. And again. Good. 2 more like that. Next time you come to center, you'll come around and give yourself a big hug. So one arm over the other, reaching for the opposite shoulder. Elbows and shoulders are low here. And then actively pulling your elbows forward, just enough to feel like your shoulder blades are starting to stretch away from each other, or away from their center point just a little bit. Good. And then you can unwind yourself, come wide. Maybe next time you give yourself a hug, it's with the other arm on top. We'll keep our elbows low for this one and do just a small hinge if it feels good. So maybe you're going to reach forward just a little bit farther and hinge. If you need to take your hands down to your lap instead, that's okay too. And then come back up nice and slow. Good. All right, from here, we'll stretch through front shoulders and chest a little bit more as we slide the backs of our hands into our imaginary back pockets or onto your hips if that feels better for you. For this first time, we will just focus on a nice long spine. So crown of your head a little closer to the ceiling, elbows pulling back to open up a little extra space through your chest, taking some nice even breaths in and out here. And just like at the beginning of class, when we were focused on the expansion through our chest, you can feel that now. Every breath in, it's a little more air when our chest is open like this. Good, so one more here. All right, we're going to reset that one and do the exact same setup again. So hands can be either on your hips or in your back pockets again. And then this time you have the option of a little bit of a hinge as well. So if you know you need that front support, you can decide whether you want to stay upright for this or whether you want to hinge and have your hands on your lap. Either way, opening up through your chest, elbows pull back. Maybe from here you start to hinge. You might even hold on to your chair back if that's an option for you to give you a little bit of stability and also a bit more stretch. Great, and then come on back to center. Good. All right, we'll take a little bit more time for spinal rotation than we did during warm-up now that our muscles are warm, of course, and ready for a little extra stretch. So both hands can come to one side of your outer thigh. Hips are nice and even. And then from here, you can start to rotate just to a nice comfortable spot where you feel like you get just that little bit of extra movement through your spine. If you'd like to look over your shoulder and look to the back of your chair, go ahead and do that for some neck stretch as well. And nice even breaths in and out here. Good, and then come on back to center. Same thing on the other side, up nice and tall, taking both hands to the same side, outer thigh, maybe some gentle pressure through those hands as you start to rotate. And then just looking over that shoulder if that feels good as well for a little extra neck stretch. And ease your way back to center. All right, we are going to stretch through our forearms a little bit and then we will be almost done. So if you want to either clasp your hands together, interlace your fingers, or one hand over the top of the other, if that feels better for your fingers, we're going to extend to the front, flip so that one hand is over top of the other, and then with low shoulders and extended elbow, start to pull the knuckles of your top hand down. Get a little gentle pressure and a stretch through your forearm here. This stretch works best if your elbow is straight on the stretching hand. And it's always nice if your shoulder is relaxed and away from your ear for this one too. Good, you can ease out of that and flip over the sandwich so you can do the same on the other side. Elbow on the top hand is extended, shoulder is low, gentle pressure through the knuckles of that top hand until you feel a gentle stretch through your forearm here. Right, you can ease out of that one. We'll stretch the opposite muscles, the inside arm next, as you extend one hand, palm towards the camera, and then gentle pressure through the palm of your hand or through your fingertips, whichever feels better, to get a little bit of a stretch through your inner forearm. Again, that extended elbow on the stretching hand gives you a little bit more the sensation of stretching. Great, and then you can release that. Do the same on the other side. Palm reaches towards the camera. Gentle pressure through your palm to get that stretch through your inner forearm. All right, you can release that and just give me a few nice wrist circles going one way. And then back the other way. And we started class today, amongst other things, with a bit of a cat-cow move. So we're going to do that and just focus on that with our breathing for the last few moments of class. So you might look down and curl through your spine. And then look up towards the ceiling as you open up through your chest. Hands can be on your lap the whole time. And just focusing on nice, even breaths in and out. Maybe it's a breath out as you look down towards your lap. And then a breath in as you extend through your chest, giving you that little bit of extra breathing room. Add more breaths if you need to. We'll do that 2 more times through. And last one here. Great. As per usual, I will stay after class for a few minutes if you'd like to chat or if you have any questions for me, and we will finish off class with 3 big breaths in, starting down low, reaching for the ceiling. And one more here. Great. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. Nice to see
Okay.
you. You're not at the beach today. You had a different background today.
Who? Oh, him.
Yeah, the other fellow, yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to
Nice
see you.
to
I
be-
haven't seen you in a few weeks.
I know it's been crazy, but it's nice to be back.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
I thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
See you again.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.